Hey there, welcome. Today we're going to dive into Hinduism versus Islam. Hinduism, tracing its roots back to around 3000 BC, represents a broad spectrum of beliefs and practices evolved over millennia, while Islam, founded in 610 AD, presents a more uniform set of beliefs and practices informed by the Quran and the life of the Prophet Muhammad. Hinduism's Trimurti, consisting of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, corresponds to the cosmic functions of creation, preservation, and destruction. On the other hand, Islam practices strict monotheism, with all these functions combined in Allah, demonstrating a clear contrast in the conceptualization of divine power. In Hinduism, Manu and Shatarupa are the first humans created and guided by Brahma. The Islamic tradition parallels this narrative with Adam and Hawa, created and guided by Allah. The Vedas form the oldest and most revered texts in Hinduism, presenting a vast array of hymns, rituals, and philosophical discourses. In contrast, the Quran, revered by Muslims as the Word of God, provides a singular comprehensive guide for all aspects of life, social, political, and spiritual. The mandir in Hinduism serves not only as a place of worship but also as a community center where various cultural and social activities take place. Similarly, the mosque in Islam functions as both a place of worship and a community center, reflecting shared communal values despite their architectural and ritualistic differences. The Pujari in Hinduism and the Imam in Islam both serve as religious leaders. They guide their communities through rituals, prayers, and interpretations of scriptures, underlining the universal need for spiritual guidance across diverse religious traditions. Puja in Hinduism typically involves offerings to deities and can vary greatly in complexity, reflecting the myriad of local traditions. Salah in Islam is a fixed set of physical postures and Quranic recitations done at specific times each day, showcasing a rigid structure aimed at regular connection with the divine. Namaste in Hindu tradition is a respectful greeting which translates to "I bow to the divine in you." In contrast, Assalamu alaikum in Islamic tradition translates to "peace be upon you." Both greetings reflect their respective traditions' emphasis on respect and peace in interpersonal relations. Hinduism has approximately 1.2 billion followers, predominantly in India and Nepal, reflecting a strong cultural and regional concentration. Islam, with about 2 billion followers, is more globally dispersed, indicating its wide-scale acceptance and adaptability across different cultures and regions. The largest concentration of Hindus is in India, whereas Indonesia is home to the largest Muslim population. These geographical concentrations highlight how specific historical, political, and cultural contexts have shaped the development and practices of these religions. Varanasi in India, considered the spiritual capital of Hinduism, hosts rituals like the Ganga Aarti and cremations, which hold significant spiritual meaning. Similarly, Mecca in Saudi Arabia, the holiest city in Islam, hosts the annual pilgrimage, the Hajj. Both cities embody the deep historical, spiritual, and emotional ties of their respective followers. Diwali, celebrated by Hindus as the festival of light symbolizing the victory of light over darkness, contrasts with Eid al-Adha in Islam, which commemorates the Prophet Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his son in obedience to God's command. Despite these different underlying themes, both festivals bring joy, unity, and reinforce shared values among their respective communities through acts of charity, communal prayers, feasts, and family gatherings. In Hindu belief, Svarga is a temporary heaven-like realm attained by righteous souls before reincarnation. Islam's Jannah, however, is a permanent paradise granted to the righteous in the afterlife. While both concepts encourage ethical living, they represent different views on the soul's ultimate destiny. Naraka, according to Hinduism, is a realm ablaze with red fire where souls undergo suffering and purification for their sins and are ultimately destined for rebirth. Conversely, Jahannam in Islam is a dark realm engulfed in black-colored fire, serving as a place of eternal punishment for the wicked. Hinduism describes Rakshasas as powerful demonic beings disrupting cosmic order, somewhat akin to the Islamic concept of shaitan, who are devils leading humans astray. Both symbolize forces of chaos and evil. Ravana, a demon king in Hindu epics, embodies the force of ego and desire, while Iblis in Islam represents defiance and pride. Both characters serve as cautionary figures against straying from righteousness. In Hindu mythology, spirits of the dead and jinn in Islamic belief, supernatural creatures created from smokeless fire represent entities from unseen worlds, showing shared recognition of a reality beyond human perception. In Hinduism, celestial beings known as devas who serve the divine order are often compared to malaika or angels in Islam. Both being intermediaries between God and humans, they symbolize the constant cosmic order in both religions, highlighting the belief in a structured universe overseen by divine powers. Vidyadhari, the celestial nymphs of Hinduism, also known as apsaras, are depicted as ethereal beings associated with beauty and nature. often involved in interactions with humans. Their counterparts in Islam, the Huri, are beautiful beings promised to the righteous in the afterlife. These beings symbolize reward and virtue, reflecting each religion's emphasis on righteousness and piety. The legendary creature Garuda in Hinduism, a bird-like deity often serving as a mount to Lord Vishnu, symbolizes power and nobility. In contrast, Buraq from Islamic tradition is a miraculous steed that transported the Prophet Muhammad during his night journey, symbolizing divine intervention and spiritual ascension. Both these beings highlight the recurring theme of divine assistance and spiritual journeying in both religions. King Ashoka, remembered for his rule of righteousness in Hindu history, mirrors the esteem for Sultan Mehmed II in Islamic history, known for his strategic conquest of Constantinople. Both rulers left lasting impacts on their civilizations, embodying the ideal of just and powerful leadership in both cultures. Aryabhata, a renowned Hindu mathematician and astronomer, made significant scientific contributions, including approximations of pi. In contrast, Al-Khwarizmi, a Persian scholar in the Islamic world, is known as the father of algebra, showcasing major contributions to the field of mathematics from both cultures. The mango, used in Hindu rituals and symbolism, is a sign of prosperity and love, contrasting with dates in Islamic tradition, a fruit of great significance, particularly during Ramadan, marking the breaking of the fast. Gangajal, water from the holy river Ganges in Hinduism, is considered sacred and purifying. This parallels the Islamic belief in Zamzam water from a well in Mecca, thought to be a gift from God with healing properties. Both serve as potent symbols of purification and divine blessings in their respective traditions. Yoga in Hinduism, which seeks spiritual insight and tranquility through physical postures and meditation, is akin to dhikr in Islam, a devotional act involving repeated recitation of God's names. Both practices offer a path to spiritual concentration and connection with the divine, reflecting a shared emphasis on personal spiritual discipline. Akamana in Hinduism is a ritual cleansing process involving sipping water with mantras, symbolizing spiritual and physical purity. This parallels wudu in Islam, a purification ritual involving washing specific parts of the body before prayer, both rituals emphasizing the importance of purity in worship. Hindu tradition favors cremation, a ritual seen as a key part of the journey of the soul, reflecting a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. On the other hand, Islamic practices advocate for burial, aligning with the faith's emphasis on dignity and respect for the deceased. These rites showcase how each religion distinctively honors and remembers the departed. I hope you found that as fascinating as I did. It's amazing to see how two religions, while so different, can also share so many similarities. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more content like this. Let me know in the comments what other topics you'd like me to explore. Until next time, stay curious and open-minded.